I didn't get the reaction I expected at all. I got all this, get away from me, you know, or what are you coming around here for? Mm-hmm. It was like, you know, what are these people trying to tell me? You know, things it's more convoluted and deeper than I thought, you know. So I just couldn't get anywhere. I was trying to run it. Went to the chief of police, the commissioner of public safety. I went to his office, Reginald Eves, and I spilled the beans there, you know, as far as I could remember about the conversations in a hurry and summarize quickly. I typed up and put down on their desk in front of them and said, there, you know, and they tape recorded a discussion with me and all that. And then they didn't do anything about it. Eves dropped the investigation into the King assassination that he was conducting at that time. Just
what
like a hot
did you think?
potato.
What might they have done? What did you hope they would do?
I thought they would supply me with 24-hour bodyguards.
Protection.
Number one, yeah. And number two, I thought that they would investigate. I figured they had the resources to investigate. They'd find out if this, you know, I thought they'd be digging up bodies in this guy's yard in Louisiana any day, and it would turn out to be a horrible Nazi war criminal of some type, you know. Because that's what I thought he was, you know. Something like that, you know. If he wasn't just some fool talking to me to be playing with my mind, to be killing time on a dull afternoon on a weekend, then he was some hideously heavy Nazi. Those were the only alternatives that occurred to me at the time.
And do you think that the conspiracy has completed its mission?
Well, it depends. There were multiple purposes involved. It was a maximum complicity conspiracy. One of the missions was to impose a realpolitik foreign policy on America, based more on the thinking of somebody like Charles de Gaulle. And that way they succeeded admirably with Henry Kissinger. In other ways, I think they failed. One of their things was sexual freedom, according to brother-in-law anyway.
In other words, it wasn't just a conspiracy to assassinate Kennedy?
Far from it. It was probably some variation of a Nazi game plan that Allen Dulles and Reinhard Gehlen were involved in creating originally.
Now you're going beyond your own personal experience at this point.
But
going back to the people that you talked to.
I can only answer with a speculation, yeah.
And involving the conversations
well,
that you
what
had.
I've been told about the conversations with brother-in-law is that he was espousing a lot of that ideology at the time, of the neo-Nazi matriarchy, Jungian fascism that Dulles espoused, because his secretary, Mary Bancroft, had been in therapy with Jung when they were in Switzerland, or his special assistant, and she got Dulles into Jung, evidently. I mean, that's the way I interpret it, is what happened. I don't know. That, once again, that's rumor and speculation.
So.
That's what it looks like, though. That's what they say it looks like. That's what it looks like, smells like, tastes like, you know, that kind of fascism. Jungian revision of Nazism. Basically breaking down the strong patriarchal authority figure. They didn't want another Hitler. They wanted a Nazism without a Hitler.
So, were you an unwitting participant?
Yeah, at the time. However, it's not that I didn't want to be a witting participant, though. I wanted to kill Kennedy. I was disappointed when I thought that when I would decide at the end of the conversation that brother-in-law wasn't actually serious or together enough to go out and do it, you know. Because it always ended on a note where he would say something like he was only kidding, or he would turn it into a joke of some kind.
Isn't it possible that these conversations you had with these people were not connected to the crime that occurred in Dallas?
Yeah, almost impossible, because they knew too much about what was going to happen, and they told me too much about what was going to happen.
What did they tell you that was going to happen that did happen?
Well, it wasn't quite that explicit. It was more like this. This actually happened. This was our very last conversation, 2 weeks before the assassination.